This is Dick Slonsky, Senior Analyst for ARC Advisory Group. Today I'm here with Bill Muldoon, Executive Vice President, AVEVA. Bill, welcome.
Thanks, Dick. Appreciate that.
Glad you're here. Should be an interesting topic that we're going to discuss today.
Yes, sir.
First of all, tell us about AVEVA's new plant design and lean construction initiative as a part of your Everything 3D.
Well, Dick, it's an interesting, thank you for asking about that. Lean construction for us is actually a vision for us. Basically, we've taken 30 plus years of design, or should I say 45 years plus of design experience coming together using our flagship of PDMS and taking it to the next level. And so it's basically looking at how do we take more of the design from the construction phase and pull it back into the front end phase, helping customers that have a desire to reduce safety and look at ways to reduce waste, very similar to what the lean message is.
And how is this new solution different from your PDMS solution, which has been a part of your solution set for many years?
Absolutely, and it's been there. It's actually an enhancement on above and beyond what we've done with PDMS, because it combines, as the name says, everything 3D. It combines a variety of other things that are coupled with it. It's first of all, it starts off with a user experience that is also going after our next generation of designers and engineers coming in, but it also takes the information of 3D laser geometry that's out there and starts to incorporate it into that as well too. And why is that significant? Important to customers is to be able to then see where they have clashes out in the field by not having to have people out in the field constantly. So if you're an offshore FPSO or out on a rig, that's extremely expensive, as well as it potentially has safety hazards. So now I can take that laser scan, take it back in, and incorporate it so that if we had things that were mechanically put in place, we can start to make those adjustments at the fabrication side of things or even all the way back to the design things. So again, in a safe environment, that can happen. This reduces the amount of waste, and frankly, it's more efficient to our customers. That's why it's interesting to them.
And how does this new solution help your customers transform their processes?
Yeah, and I think that's the whole thing. Conventionally, we've seen, first of all, in the oil and gas industry specifically, you will find that not every one project's the same. It's not like when we think of lean construction or lean in the essence of Toyota, where they basically built tons and tons of cars. But what we can see is that we have very complex solutions out there that are being done by owners out there and maybe in the Arctics or areas that have a high risk. They've been pushing that down to our contractors. Contractors are then spreading risk with multiple people working together. Then it's also bringing in the fabrication side of things. And so what this lean construction initiative is doing is capitalizing on that type of area. I said earlier, it's reducing the risk. We don't want people out there in safety harnesses trying to measure up something on a rig, where I can take a laser scan, which is fairly inexpensive today. It can be done in about 6 to 20 minutes, depending on the size and complexity. And that information can be thrown up on a cloud or something like that and brought back to our engineering firms, and they can make those changes. If the plenums or the columns where things are supposed to be mounted are incorrect, we can see those changes and see how it affects piping. We don't have to use the old, hammer to pull it close and bolt it together, which frankly from a fabrication standpoint looks fine, but what ends up happening is when you go to the operations side, fatigue and stress start to play into areas. So that's an area we see from a reliability aspect.
Tell me a bit about the benefits that your customers could realize with these in terms of process optimization, in terms of safety, in terms of performance enhancement, a number of things.
Sure.
That they could realize.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think we can see it right out of the box. First of all, one thing I do want to emphasize is that PDMS and E3D will work together. So one of the things we see immediately is that you do not have to go to another platform. You could actually take them existing projects right now working with both solutions together. That's the first part. Second part pops into is what I said earlier, is it's linking closer to the fabrication side of things. So what we'll be doing in this vision is bringing other aspects of structural and other areas, things like mobile commuting, a cloud. These type of efforts are also things that we'll be introducing into the environment of Everything 3D. So think of the word, what it says, everything. What we're trying to do is not have multiple tools, that we have one tool environment that they can work in. So now we could have a tablet mobility that we could sit out on the construction site together and look on how these type of elements are going to come together. So I can start to see that type of area for reliability. If we start seeing changes that need to be made, we can feed that back to the designers or fabricators, so that now what I call waste of time is not just waste of material, but it's also waste of idle equipment sitting there. Now I can have changes of those being made prior to them showing up. Worst case scenario is to have a spool show up, doesn't fit, and now we're starting to hammer to get it into place.
Tell me about what Aviva's roadmap is going forward. In other words, what's the future look like for Aviva now?
Sure. We've put it as a tagline called the future of plant design, and I think Everything 3D starts to incorporate that. And one of the areas we see is more elements being added to it to bring more value to our customers. So looking at how we bring, like I said, structural or cloud or mobile coming to it, but there will be other facets through some of the acquisitions we have that we think will enhance that environment.
Okay. Well, Bill, this has been extremely informative. It looks like the future looks very interesting for both Aviva and your customers with all these new solutions. I thank you for your time, and it's been nice talking to you.
Thanks, Dick. I really appreciate the time to share this experience as well.
Today I've been speaking with Bill Muldoon, Executive Vice President for Aviva. Thank you for watching.